Well, hello again, and welcome to another edition of the Speed Bag. Today, a little segment I like to call, So what do we really want out of these people anyway? So recently, the staff of MMA Junkie huddled together like we do to cast our votes for the monthly awards. You know, stuff like Fight of the Month, Submission of the Month, all that. Usually, how it goes is we all, vote via email, make fun of each other's choices, use a few cleverly chosen gifts, and that's about it. A winner's chosen. But this month a split arose, and it was over knockout of the month. Should it go to Mike Perry, who just straight knocked Jake Ellenberger into the land of wind and ghosts with that standing elbow at UFC Fight Night 108? Or should it go to Sabina Matzo, who put that head kick on Jamie Thornton on the small circuit? And both of those were outstanding knockouts. Still, for the sake of sheer violence, it's really tough to beat Perry's elbow. It's so much so that, I saw it on Twitter hours later, where you scroll through, you see the video clips, and I'd see it and know what it was about to be and just keep scrolling because I didn't want to see it again. And that's really the only time I can recall doing that with an MMA highlight. Not a gruesome injury, not anything gross or something going wrong, but just a run-of-the-mill finish, a fight finishing the way they often do, and it was so bad I just didn't want to see it again. That's a knockout right there. So why wasn't it unanimous choice for knockout of the month? Basically because once we all started talking about it, a lot of us felt like it's hard to cast a vote for that guy, because he seems like a jerk. And I'm not saying that in the, maybe isn't nice to people sense. I'm saying that in the actually might be racist sense. Remember Mike Perry's first UFC fight when his corner was caught on the mic making racist comments about Hung Yu Lim and Perry didn't see what the big deal was? Or how about when people dug through his old Instagram posts and saw him just straight up using the N-word? Or they looked at his Twitter and found a bunch of homophobic crap. Stuff like that can make it hard to root for you. I guess so can having your name tattooed across your face, but for very different reasons. But this gets us to a question that seems to be popping up more and more in this modern age where just media technology is constantly present. And that is, how much of our perception of these guys as people should affect our appreciation of what they do as athletes? Perry's a good example, because the only reason people even care, what's on his Instagram or what he says to his friend is because he's good at fighting. And that guy clearly can fight, right? That's supposedly what we're here for. And the fighting is what takes place, between the air horns. If the UFC put together, a nice guy league with a bunch of people with just impeccable views and values engaged in slow, uninspiring combat, I doubt a whole bunch of us would watch that. At the same time, it gets weird when you have to wonder if you're supporting people who you would actually intensely dislike if you knew them in real life. And then some people, it goes way beyond racist remarks on the internet. We've had fighters who have beat women, fighters who have committed crimes that really hurt people. What are you supposed to do with that? Are you just supposed to pretend that it didn't happen and set it aside when you're enjoying the actual fighting? And then again, are you supposed to put asterisks next to everything an athlete accomplishes just because you think they might be a crappy person? It's tough, and I've got to admit I don't really have the answers. And it does seem like an issue we're probably going to keep confronting, especially for some reason in MMA. And for the record, I voted for Mike Perry's finish, because even though he seems like, somebody I definitely would not want to have a beer with, I got to give it up to any finish so gnarly that I decided I never want to see it again.